The role of religion in human history has sparked so many debates. Some people say it's a blessing, providing moral guidance, while there are people that say it's a curse, promoting conflict and division. Perspectives will always vary. And that's why today we're going to be talking about religion being either a blessing or a curse. Can you guess who my guest is? We'll reveal that after the break. Welcome to Doing's Corner, a show where stories are shared, connections are made, and emotions run deep. Come with me as I bring to you heart-to-heart conversations with your favorite celebrities. I promise this is not just a talk show. It's a journey of emotions, shared experiences, and genuine connections. On the second season of Doing's Corner, I'll be bringing the human side of stardom to the forefront.
If as a religious leader you have another business, you're working, doing your thing, and you're making your money, oh please, enjoy your life.
It's not real life.
Right.
It's your craft. You're putting up a show. Meaning, you go home at night, you take your mask off.
I think my first thinking is not, oh, my career. I'm a human being first.
Right.
That's, to me, it's like, as long as I'm doing what feels right, I'm not worried about what someone says.
If anybody should do this same stunts, if anybody should pull the same stunts with me now, I'll just be laughing because I mean, my dad did.
So if you see something wrong that is going on in the industry, you would not want to say it, because if you say it, you enter the bad books of the industry.
So stay tuned as we unlock the minds of the stars, one conversation at a time. My name is Doing David, and I remain your host. Welcome back, guys. So joining us today to discuss this very controversial topic, I have no other person but my favorite skip maker. He's more than just a skip maker. I particularly like him because he's been very vocal about a lot of things that people are very scared to talk about. And I don't know that there's anybody on the internet that is as brave as he is. I'm not speaking about any other person than Mr. Macaroni.
Yeah, nowhere.
Thank you so much for coming. You look nice. I love the fit. I love the shoes. I love the sunglasses.
Wow.
Everything is given. Even the accessories. I'm like, oh.
Fantabulous. Are you sure you know to wear the agbada when I become the freaking?
No. I'm not going to take your space. Right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So today we're going to be talking about religion. If it's a blessing or a curse. First of all, I want to ask, do you consider yourself a religious person?
I consider myself a spiritual person. Yeah, they go hand in hand, actually, if you look at it. So, yes, if we look at the definition of religion, yeah, I'm religious. Why? What is religion? Religion is a system of worship, a system of faith. So do I have a system of worship? Absolutely, yes. So if it is to be correct, to be factual, to say I'm religious, I'm a spiritual person.
Right. Do you agree with the way religion is being portrayed these days? The way people preach about God and who God is and how he operates. Do you agree with it?
No, I don't. I think religion has been bastardized. And it's heartbreaking because the religious leaders, as it were, wield so much power. They have the power and the stance to change a lot of things. Especially in this part of the world, in this country, we're very religious people. And we believe so much in the existence of the supernatural, regardless of the religion it is that you are in.
Right.
There are different religions.
Of course.
So, but the one that you choose in this part of the world, and once you choose that particular one, you find that people are devoted to it. So it is unfair and inhumane to take advantage of the vulnerability of the people, because you know that they are highly religious, and because you know that they will believe whatever it is that you say,
Right.
and then make a fool of not only them, but try to make a fool of the religion it is that they are in.
Right.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Very disappointing, I must say. I mean, we see a lot of things these days where people, I mean, some days ago, I think I saw something on the internet where someone was referring to a pastor as daddy. And there were a lot of people that thought that was weird.
Yes, with that, I don't think there's a problem.
Okay.
Will I call my pastor? I don't have a pastor anyways. Or even if I had a pastor, will I call him daddy? I don't know. Depends on my relationship with him. In school, I used to call my teacher daddy. Daddy prof. That's what we call him. I studied theater arts. My teacher was Professor Ahmed Yerima. Till today, still my father. Because he impacted so much in my life. So anytime I pick up the phone and I call him Babami, that's the first thing I say. And so is for a lot of people. Niji Akoni, a lot of great men that have taught me one way or the other. That relationship is there such that when I see them, when I Madobale, I pick up my phone, Babami. So depending on the relationship you have with someone, it's okay to call them daddy. Daddy is not something that people can force you to call them. There was someone that was trying to force me to call him daddy also when I was in school. I never called him daddy because I didn't see him as my daddy. But when you have that kind of relationship, when you see that kind of thing, you will want to, my daddy, Babami.
Right.
So people cannot really judge what they don't understand. But here, most of the time, people tend to judge what it is they don't understand.
Right.
What is making you call the person that you are sleeping with daddy? You understand? Yeah, in bed, and you say, yes, daddy, yes, daddy. Something it's not a natural thing.
Right.
Something is making you say, yes, daddy, yes, he's not your father now.
Right.
But he's entering some places that you have no other option.
That's calling daddy.
So there are different types of daddies.
Right.
So you never can tell why it is that you can't judge people's relationships with others. That's just how.
Fair enough. But that's just like the superficial part of it. There are people that literally fear their pastors or their religious leaders more than they even fear God himself.
Yes.
And do you think that happens? And what's your opinion on that?
That's where the problem is. Number one, why are you fearing your religious leader? It's problematic. If is either in this part of the world, is it that, and okay, it's not just Nigeria actually. It happens in a lot of places too. So if people that, there are people that are religious, just religious, then they are fanatics.
Right.
Those that have taken it above and beyond. Now, the moment you get to a place where you can no longer think logically for yourself, and whatever it is that your religious leader says is superior to logical reasoning, then you have become a fanatic. You are no longer in charge. You are no longer in control, and you cannot think. The moment you cannot no longer think for yourself, then there's a problem.
Right.
So why are you scared or afraid of your religious leader? For those that are not scared or afraid of them, is either they're either doing that or they are worshiping them. Now, when I spoke about religion earlier, my own understanding of religion is a system of worship. What's worship? Worship is reverence to a superior, a supernatural being, a deity. That's in this case God. Someone you believe that is supernaturally above the physical. That is the only person you can worship because he is above.
Right.
He is all encompassing. So the moment you leave that person you're supposed to be worshiping and you are now worshiping the guidance counselor. Religious leaders are like guidance counselors. There's a big problem if you as a Christian, or you as a Muslim, or as a traditionalist, or what have you, don't understand the rudiments, the basics of the religion that you are in. You cannot read the Bible for yourself. You cannot understand what it is that God is telling you. If you say God is your father, why do you need someone else to tell you what God your father is telling you?
Right.
Sometimes religious leaders know more, of course, and not all of them, some at least. And who are we to know the one that is true and the one that is fake? But there are some things that you will see and you'll be like, come on, who are you deceiving? But the onus lies on the people to open their brains and open their minds and evolve. The moment anything your pastor says or your imam or whoever your religious leader is says, the moment you agree that that is final, without questioning, I'm not saying challenge the person.
Right.
Even when you ask questions, it's fine. But without first assessing that thing, when they talk to you, you listen and you assess.
Right.
I say, okay.
Sure, this thing makes sense.
Also, we have had cases where these religious leader will say, oh, I need to sleep with you. So maybe an innocent woman looking for child,
Right.
desperate. That's why I spoke about taking advantage of people, Someone looking for a child, I say, oh, before that thing can happen, I need to sleep with you. Let me give you
The anointing.
spiritual
fertility.
So, and then you cannot, as a reasonable human being, you cannot think that I'm married though. This Baba is saying I should sleep with him first before I can have a child. Is that not even going against the doctrines or what my religion says? You understand, depending on the religion that it is that you are.
Right.
So that's just where the problem is. People have now begun to give the reverence due to God and only God. People have now begun to accord that sanctity, that holiness that belongs. It's only God that is completely holy.
Right.
So, that people have now begun to ascribe it to their own religious leaders. Those ones are just actually there to say, this is how you should do it. Okay, I also pray to God. But, it is something when you are going to meet your religious leader and you're saying, I've spoken to God about this, but as my spiritual father, my spiritual mother, or my counselor, or my guidance counselor, whatever it is that you want to put it, I also just want to hear from your own, I go to this thing. So it will be a thing of joy when what he is saying is correlating with, but you cannot say that you have a relationship with God, and for every time you want to hear from that God that you're serving, that you have a relationship with, you need to go through someone to communicate with him. Then there's something wrong.
I agree with you 100%. There's also something that I have noticed these days, like pastors are, I don't want to say pastors, religious leaders are almost like celebrities. They have bouncers. There's a long queue of protocols to go through to get to, to talk to your religious leader. And I don't know that it should be that way. What's your opinion on that? Do you think religious leaders are celebrities?
What is a celebrity? Who is a celebrity? Someone that is worthy of celebration. Absolutely, yes, they are celebrities. Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
So do you agree with
So, yes, that's what I'm going to.
Okay.
So, yes, they are celebrities. If we look at the definition of a celebrity, they are people that at least might not be all. So I'm not going to speak for all.
Right.
So there are some religious leaders that have distinguished themselves, and society has sort of elevated them to a position that is worthy of commendation, not of worship.
Right.
Should never get to the point of worshiping people. Should get to a point of this person has done well or is doing well. Their teachings, their impact to society, this has done it, they have done this and that. So people celebrate them when they see them. Thank you for your good work. I love what you do. You have been a blessing to me. So in those type of individuals can be characterized as celebrities. Now, the place of access. I always try to be very factual and reasonable when I have conversations like this. If there's no news that some people abuse access, so it might be the reason why some religious leaders might feel the need to restrict access. Although, if you look at how it was, if you look at any of the religion, at least I've practiced Islam, I've practiced Christianity, you understand, and the teachings, the number of teachings I got, even from my own little knowledge, the prophets or the prophets were always accessible. You understand? Most times, kings are not accessible. But prophets it's always easy to reach them.
Right.
Yes. So I strongly believe that for people who want to access their religious leaders, they should be able to. But I also believe that adequate measures should also be. It's not enough to say, oh, I'm accessible, then I'm reckless.
Right.
I also strongly believe that these religious leaders might or should also take certain steps to protect themselves. It's also where I will have a problem is when you are preaching that, oh, God will always protect you. You don't need this, you don't need that, and you are now using those things.
Right.
As a person, you are saying religion is not supposed to be something this. How do I put it? This hard. It's simple. So far the right teachings are there and you are not leading people astray. You understand? So there's maybe there's high rise in insecurity in the country. And then you as a religious leader, you are telling your people that yes, even though they are always kidnapping in so place, they are always robbing them, God is with you. No. As a religious leader, you're supposed to be telling them, or you always pray for God's protection, God's grace, but you also have to be vigilant. Because even whatever religion it is, it teaches you to be vigilant naturally. So you are just telling people be vigilant. Make sure you don't do certain things. You are just advising them. And also praying for relevant authorities to be able to make sure that the security situation in the country is better. But you don't now pack all the security apparatus available in the country. And then you are preaching that God will always protect. Who is protecting the people that you are preaching for? So yes, wisdom is profitable to direct. So I strongly believe that religious leaders, in their own right, should also have a mandate, to be able to say these are the measures that we can take to protect ourselves if need be. These are we can restrict access if need be, because sometimes these people too, maybe they are going somewhere, someone can just come tear their clothes and say, oh, you did this, you would. What do you say about that? So I think everything, but that is, it is you that will know the best way to address certain things. But the people that you say you lead religiously, you also have to set an example, and they also must be able to reach you. And thank God for technology, thank God for a lot of things. Even if it's not, of course, there are some religious leaders that their congregation or the people that they lead, quote and unquote, is no small number.
Right.
Can everybody have access to them? Absolutely not. So that's why I want to believe that there's structure, there's organization. You understand? You can meet so person in so is also a part of our this thing. So far the structure is right, and so far people understand that you yourself, you are accountable to yourself. Only relying on maybe guidance, all you are seeking for is some extra guidance, some extra admonition about taking certain decisions. Then you know that at the end of the day, all man for himself, because that's the truth.
Right. I really agree with that. You speak with so much wisdom. I'm like, how old is he? Right. So guys, we are still on this topic. We need to go on a quick break and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, guys. We're still seated with the very wise Mr. Macaroni.
There you go.
Still on the topic of religion. Okay, so my next question is tithe. There's this, I don't know, what's your opinion on paying tithe?
The truth is, I cannot give a valid or factual opinion about paying tithe. Reason being that I'm not a Christian, I'm not a pastor, and I've not studied the Bible to the level of understanding what the principle of tithing says. So I don't want to sit here and act as if I know about tithes, and I don't. But I know there's a lot of controversy about it, and I know some people have said, "Oh, it's in the Bible, it's not in the Bible." They said it's something percent. Truth is, if I was practicing Christianity, I would have by myself say, I want to know, because I always want to know before I do. So I leave that to my darling Christian brothers and sisters.
Fair enough. So there are a lot of religious leaders that live very extravagant lifestyles. Like, I don't want to mention any names. There's some that drive Bentleys, Rolls Royce. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, but now I want to talk about those that are full-time religious leaders. What do you think about them living an extravagant lifestyle?
What do I think about religious leaders living an extravagant lifestyle? Like you said, there are some that are full-time religious leaders. So by that, you would mean that they don't have any other source of income.
Yes.
Apart from
what the congregation is, offerings, time.
I cannot lie, that I can never be in support of that. So it's one thing if, as a religious leader, you have another business, you're working, doing your thing, and you're making your money. Oh, please, enjoy your life. Religious leaders also did not come to the world to suffer.
Yeah.
You understand? As a matter of fact, I want to believe that, for me, extravagance could be a little bit too much. I mean, enjoy yourself, live your life. But again, because of where we are, the situation of the people that you are leading, quote and unquote, what is the quality of their own lives? You understand? So I can't relate, because someone like me, I don't like extravagance. I enjoy myself within my limits, and I also do that in quietness, on a low-key P. I'm not one to buy a car and post it. I'm not one to buy a house and post it. Are the people doing it wrong? Absolutely not. You cannot tell someone that has struggled, and the person now finally gets the money, and the person is just sometimes it's even to thank God. Again, sometimes also is to motivate others that I did it to, if you know where I'm coming from trenches. But God don't butter my bread. See, He can do it for you. So, but from my own angle is always not wanting to put undue pressure on people, especially the young people in society like me. I'm 30 years old. I do this, I do that. I know a lot of 30-year-olds that will now want to be running. That small boy, even people that are more than 30. Say, I collect 5 years from that boy, or 7 years from that boy. You don't do this, you don't do that. Me, I just always feel it just puts pressure on people. So I'm not just someone that will want to put unnecessary pressure on people. So that's why I want to relate it to religious leaders also. For the positions, respective positions that they occupy, they have a mandate to balance it. Their lifestyle could be a motivation to the people that they lead, quote and unquote. At the same time, that's why I say there must be a balance, because at the same time, it must not seem as pressuring people, to start running different race. You understand? So, and that's for those that have other things that they're doing. You understand? I mean, as a religious leader, if you have your businesses, enjoy your life. Let your people enjoy their life. But of course, I want to believe that as a religious leader, you also know that you have a mandate to help people do this, do that. But for a religious leader that does not have any other business, or I think that's why we rare, but does not have any other business apart from, and is now living extravagantly, it's not godlike.
Right.
It's not godlike.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Do you think that religion has promoted division, especially in this part of the country, in this part of the world? Sorry.
Absolutely. Because you see, there is a high level of intolerance when it comes to religion. Here, oh, no, you can't say this about my religion. Oh, you can't do this. Some people, you do a music video, for instance, and they say, oh, you use the church, oh, you use the mosque, sometimes, of course, artists too can be wild when they create something. So there are sometimes some things that you yourself, as observers in society, you say morally, you don't even need to belong to any divide, to any side of the religion. You just look at, I think there's a little bit too much. I mean, in a church, you now go, maybe there are half-naked girls dancing in the church. That's or saying a mosque. You can't, we all owe ourselves certain responsibilities, and that responsibility majorly is respect. I don't have to be a Christian, I don't have to be a Muslim to respect another person's religion. You already understand, you have an idea of what their religion is. The least you can do is just respect it. I just still strongly believe that whatever religion it is that you're practicing, you still have to be tolerant.
Right.
You have to understand that your knowledge of that religion, what you know about it and how much you respect it, is not the same level of knowledge or love or respect that some others will have for that religion. Is it right? Is another conversation for another day. I already mentioned that we all as individuals must try to respect each other's religion, but don't expect everybody to love and respect your religion the way you love it. So you just have to understand that this is what works for me. This is my system of faith and my system of worship, and that is why I do it with so much love and passion. It's not the same. So it's not enough to say, oh, because this person did that, let's ruin the person's business or ruin the person's life. So that has just really created a lot of tension, amongst everyone. Because though this person belongs to certain religion, you people that, even among the religion, there's still division. Even if it's maybe just Christianity or just Islam, even within there's still traditionally too. They also have their this thing. So at the end of the day, it still boils down to my initial point that you need to get to a level. We all need to get to a level that our brains are still intact. You do not let religion, whatever it is that you believe in, or your religious leaders, or however, whatever is operating in that religion, overpower or overshadow your own logical reasoning.
I agree.
You understand?
Speaking about intolerance, there is a particular religion that we're practicing that, it's almost as if they say when you say something that seems like blasphemy, the best thing to do is to kill that person. We've seen videos on social media where they literally, lynch people, kill people because that person said something that is supposedly, blasphemy. What do you think about that?
There's no... You can't take the life of another person under any guise. I think the power to do that is vested in the court of law, I think, and the offense has to be at par. I think when you kill someone, and it depends on how you even kill, and there are laws to this.
Right.
So, but you would not say, that's why I spoke about tolerance. We have to get to that point where we understand that the love, the devotion, and the respect that we have for our own religion is not what others or outsiders will have for it. And you cannot force them. You cannot force them to have that love and that devotion, that respect. And if at all you want to convince them, it's not through violence.
Sure.
It's through your way of life. When I started praying Islam, that was in Leeds City University. I was born a Muslim anyways. My dad is still a Muslim, a devoted Muslim. My mom is a Christian, devoted Christian. So Islam or Christianity, we did. But when I started praying because of my friend. When I started praying 5 times daily, so we're going to read one, Shitu. Till now, he's still my guy. I read one, he doesn't miss his prayers. And you see the way he talks. He's not a violent person. No. See the way. So I say, Omo, you make me want to start doing this. And before you know it, I started. So it was his way of life. He did not need to bring cutlass or whatever and say, you are going to hellfire. You are going to this. You don't believe in this or that. So it's unfair. It's inhuman. You cannot say because people don't believe in your religion or believe in or respect it or love it as much as you do, then they deserve to die.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I would ask my final question on this topic. What adjustment do you think we need to make as a country as regards religion to move forward?
So if you ask me that question from the perspective of saying as citizens or as members of a society, what do we all need to do to adjust ourselves and whatnot? I think I already touched on it, which I'll still do again. But if you're asking, say maybe what maybe government should do or whatnot.
No, not government.
Okay, yeah, because there's really nothing anyone can do as far as saying you want to enforce certain things on religion.
How about the government? What can they do?
What powers or what laws will allow for governments to say this is how you should do your religion?
Nothing.
So it's only until when criminal activities come into play that government will come in and say, oh, you cannot say because you are a religious leader or because you people believe in some religion A or B, you now kill this person. That's where you expect government to come in and there must be consequences for such actions. Actually, that's a starting point.
Right.
Talking about religious intolerance, the high level where it is now, when we have such behaviors, such events rather, say you kill someone because the person said this or that, that's where government must step in. There must be consequences for such actions. You understand?
Right.
Because we are all in a country and we all must be accommodating and receptive of one another. Right. You understand? So let the Christians practice, let the Muslims practice, let the traditionalists practice. There are some, the atheists, there are some that don't even believe in anything. Leave them alone and let them breathe. Right. You know, so we need to all get to that level that people understand that, yes, you must have respect for every religion. But also, when some people now take it to another level, you know, maybe some people say some things that are unguarded. I want to believe that there are also sanctions for that. For, you know, maybe you intentionally cause unrest. Yes, you are causing pandemonium by your utterances. Right. So you intentionally want to cause unrest in a particular space. There's punishment for that. There should also be punishment for saying you want to take the life of someone because he or she uttered something that you believe is wrong. It's not you, it's not your place to not gather and lynch the person to death. No, there must also be consequences. So that's the responsibility of government. That's where they come in, so that everyone knows that whatever I do, there's consequence for the action. Right. As far as we are concerned, as members of the society, we must evolve. We must understand that religious leaders are not gods. Gods or God. They are counselors. Depending on your relationship, they could be your uncles or your aunties or your daddies, like we said earlier, or your mommies, however it is. But you should not begin to worship them as though whatever it is that they say is final. They are human beings. And they are also prone to make mistakes. Right. They are also prone to go astray. So you must also, all of us, we must educate ourselves and begin to have relationship with that we have called our creator, the God that you're serving. Have a relationship with him. Don't rely on another man. It is very good, in fact very recommended, to seek counseling, advice and whatnot, but you must also open your head. You must also educate, evolve and re-evolve, so that you get to a point where you can still function properly, religiously, spiritually, but at the same time, psychologically, emotionally, mentally. You are functioning in all ramifications of life. When we get to that logical balance, I think things will be much more better.
Thank you so much, Mr. Macaroni.
Thank
you need
you.
to compete. They need to. I don't think there's anybody that can compete with you in wisdom.
I beg.
You are very wise. You're
I
really
beg.
wise. We've had a very lengthy conversation on this topic, and I hope that you've learned one or two things from this. I would say that the only religion that I practice, and I hope that we can all practice, is love.
Absolutely.
If whatever religion you're practicing, if you don't love one another, I don't know what you're doing. So I hope that we've taken a few nuggets from this, and I will chat to you guys later. Bye.